Hello everybody and welcome to the entertainment headquarters and welcome to another monkey-sized film review. That's right, that's what we had to talk about. We had to talk about The Monkey, 2025's Monkey, based on a Stephen King short story, produced by James Wan, and it is written and directed by Osgood Perkins. Now, if you're not familiar who Osgood Perkins is, he created a movie last year called Longlegs, which was a smash hit, starred Nicolas Cage, and it was another horror movie. I thought personally that Longlegs had a great beginning, an interesting middle, and then it fell flat at the end. But I really liked where Osgood Perkins was going with it. I thought he was a very creative director. I loved his style. I loved the aesthetics of his movie. I loved the setting of the movie, and it gave me, for a long time, Silent of the Lambs vibes, especially when it came to the performance from Nicolas Cage. But now he's moving on to this, which is not just a horror movie, it's a horror comedy movie. So, of course, there were three reasons why I wanted to see this. Number one, I seen the first trailer, piqued me interest because it didn't show much. The second trailer was completely bonkers and over the top. Then finally, it got endorsed itself by Stephen King, who went to see it and had a thoroughly amazing good time with it. So I thought, well, if it's good enough for Stephen King, it's good enough for me. So here we go. The Monkey is a 2025 American comedy horror film. Like I say, it's directed and written by Osgood Perkins. The film stars Theo James, Tatiana Maslany, Christian Convery, Colin O'Brien, Rohan Campbell, Sarah Levy, and Adam Scott, and with an appearance, and I'm going to say this, an appearance by Elijah Woods. It follows twin brothers whose lives are turned upside down by a cursed toy monkey that causes random horrific deaths all around them. And that basically summons up the movie. That's basically what this is. This is the kind of movie you go into, switch off your brain, and just take in what's going on the screen and have a good time. There's no real big reveals. There's no big secrets. There is like one particular secret, and that's to do with the twin brothers, which I won't go into because it's a major spoiler. That one particular secret with the two brothers. Everything else, it's just what you see on the screen is what you get. And that's a fun movie for me. It has no secrets. It's not trying to be anything it's not. It knows the kind of movie it is. It's horror with a mix of comedy. It has some really creative, brutal deaths. And it's just overall an interesting bag of tricks, this movie. There's some good bits and there's some bad bits in this movie. So to talk about it, let's talk a little bit about the cast. So you have Theo James as Hal and Bill Shelburth. You have Christian Convery as the young version of Hal and Bill. So basically the film starts off where you see their father enter some pawn shop. And he has this toy monkey with him. And he looks scared. He looks, he's on edge. He's trying to sell it to the owner of the pawn shop. But the pawn owner doesn't seem interested, wants nothing to do with it. The next thing you know, the monkey starts playing its drums. And once it plays its drums, boom, terror strikes. And there's a horrific death that takes place. That's the last you see of the father. It shoots forward where you find out you have this woman who had these 2 twin boys, and unfortunately, the 2 twin boys, which is Hal, who was like, I guess he's the good boy, and Bill, who's the little shitbag of a boy. One's a good kid, one's a bad kid, and Bill picks on Hal most of his youthful life, and they have a horrendous relationship. Then you have the mother, who's Lois, who's played by Tatiana Maslany. She's kind of like oblivious of everything that's going on, because obviously her husband has disappeared or is dead, but we don't know because you don't find out. It's kind of kept, a mystery. And she's kind of recuperating from that separation or him going missing, and she's kind of ignoring what's going on with the kids. And they still have possession of this monkey because they inherited it from when the father goes missing. And of course, every time you wind that monkey up, there's a tragic death. And it takes a little bit of time, not too much time, but it happens very quickly, where the kids, or Hal, the good kid, the good brother, he susses out that every time you wind that monkey up, there's a tragic death. And because he's been picked on that much by the other brother, in a fit of rage, he decides to wind that monkey up in an attempt to kill his brother. But unfortunately, it doesn't go his way. And because of that, it sets up the events for the second half of the movie, which is where he disappears for a long, long time. You then see him as an adult. And when he becomes an adult, he then obviously he's hiding. He wants nothing to do with this monkey. His brother has disappeared, Bill, who was the shitbag of a kid. And suddenly events start transpiring where deaths start occurring around him again. And he puts 2 and 2 together, that somebody has found the monkey that him and his brother basically done away with when all the events happen with them as kids. And so they're now on a mission to track down who's rediscovered the monkey and is now using the monkey to do these random horrific deaths all around them. And it sets up, that's how it plays out throughout the movie. And basically, there's one big secret that is eventually revealed. And when that's revealed, it changes the course of the plot again throughout the movie. But overall, like I say, it's the plot, it has an amazing beginning, it has a crazy middle, and then the end, it kind of suffers a bit. The end kind of slows right down. And it's just the ending's all about the brothers and things that go on. As for the deaths in this movie, there are some really crazy deaths. This really is. The monkey, like you say, if you have the winding key, if you have the winding key for the monkey and you use it and trigger the monkey, he then will go out of his way to kill somebody. It doesn't necessarily, if you have in your mind a certain individual that you want to see dead, it doesn't mean he's going to target them, because this monkey is quite sinister, that it doesn't do what you want it to do. It chooses who it wants to kill. And when it does kill people, it kills them in the most bizarre, crazy way. Similar to, like I say, Final Destination. We've seen some really crazy, bizarre deaths when it comes to that particular franchise. And this, for me, is another film that really captures a lot of what we've seen in those movies. But this time, instead of having a group of individuals that are trying to stop the events that are happening, it's 1 or 2 of the brothers that are joining together to try and, stop events or to stop whoever is winding up this monkey that's killing these people all around them. As for the performances in this movie, when it comes to the horror, in the over-the-topness of that, it wins. When it comes to the comedy side, sometimes I felt the comedy was misplaced. I think there were times where when this movie was trying to be serious, they are hiding a one-liner or they did something stupid on screen and it felt like it didn't fit that particular moment. And there were other times where they were trying to be horrific and you just laughed out loud. You just laughed because you thought that was more funny than some of the comedy. I particularly laughed at the side where there's an electrocution and something happens and someone goes to jump inside of a swimming pool and it didn't go well, and that was funny to me. The story, like I say, it sets up that there's only that one big secret and reveal. Everything else is just what you see on screen. You just go in with switch your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is. And if you do it that way, you won't be disappointed, I don't think. If you go in expecting some huge horror, more psychological, intense thinking movie, you're not going to get that here. You're just going to get what you see on screen, which is, of course, this crazy fun ride of a comedy horror. I think personally, when it comes to Osgood Perkins, I preferred, even though I was disappointed with the ending of Longlegs, I preferred that style that he did. He tries to do that style with this, and it works in a certain way, but then it didn't quite fit as well. The styling of his movie that he did for Longlegs, for me personally, fitted better. It felt like a better fit for him to do more serious horror than a horror comedy. But that's just my opinion. The cast, like I say, are a great cast. There is some, like I say, gruesome deaths in this. What interesting fact that I found about this movie, like I say, this movie was based on a 1980 Stephen King short story. And I don't know, I've never read the short story, so I don't know if the monkey in the original used the drum or used the chimes, like, the clanging chimes that we've seen. But an interesting story is the reason they couldn't use a monkey with the chimes is because when Disney and Pixar created Toy Story 3, they bought the universal rights to the monkey toy with the clangers there. And so because of that, they had to change things up a bit to use a drum. And honestly, I think the drum is a much more well executed way when it came to the monkey. There are times where the monkey was getting winded up and someone was waiting for it to bash the drum for somebody to be murdered or killed. And after they winded up the monkey, it wouldn't move. And it was when they were off screen somewhere else, doing something else, suddenly the monkey would drop its drums and finally start working. And then somebody that they were unexpected around them would be killed in like a gruesome way. So it shows you the monkey is sinister. It showed the monkey was thinking, who it was going to kill, how it was going to kill them. And so for me, that makes the monkey far more dangerous and scary. The fact that just because you want a certain individual to die a certain way that you want doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. And that's what I found really interesting when it came to the monkey, is that it wasn't, it was a monkey that it thought out loud. It had its own thought. It had its own way, and it doesn't necessarily do what you want it to do. So for me, the monkey, like I say, great deaths, switch your brain off, go in, have a good time, enjoy the kills. If you can enjoy the humour, enjoy the humour. The cast were excellent in the roles. Like I say, when it came to Elijah Woods, he basically does like a small cameo. I was expecting a little bit more later on with him, but nothing really happens. The two brothers' relationship is very, it's very, tumultuous. It's very like on edge. There's a lot of tension there. One brother's got a lot of built-up frustrations and anger because of how he was treated as a kid by the other one, and it's actually affected him as he's gotten older. He himself has a son that he's distanced himself for a reason, which is he doesn't want any harm to come to his son, and he thinks if he hangs around his son and this monkey, comes around, his son will die. He actually only sees his son limited times of the year because of that reason. The other brother, who was the arsehole brother, Hal, the good brother was, the good brother is Hal. He's got all that going on, and the bad brother, Bill, he has reasons as well to dislike the other brother because he caused an event through that anger when he was a child to affect the rest of his life. So there is lots of tension there, and it is great chemistry. The fact that one actor is portraying two brothers and giving two personalities, two different physical performances, was really interesting to see. But in all, the monkey, like I say, it's a mixed bag. You'll either enjoy it or you'll not enjoy it. I personally switched my brain off, like I said, and went in and enjoyed it for what it was. So because of those reasons, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. That's how I'm going to rate this. I think 7 out of 10 for this movie is a fair rating. Like I say, the only thing, that if there is going to be a sequel, they need to explain more about the monkey. There's no backstory on the monkey apart from it was inherited to the two twins after the disappearance or the death of the father. You don't even know if the dad's still alive or if he's dead because there's nothing really revealed when it comes to him. So it'd be interesting to see if he pops up again in a sequel or if it follows the path of the remaining characters that survived the end of the movie. But yes, did enjoy it. Stephen King enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I switched my brain off and had a good old time. So The Monkey, 7 out of 10. If you've seen The Monkey, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this movie. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe to Entertainment Headquarters. Got more reviews coming, more content coming. It's been a fun month this month with the Entertainment Headquarters. Did a month of King Kong, which ended with the lovely interview with the legendary Linda Miller. The rest of this month, it's all about horror. So we'll have the Dead franchise discussion coming up later today, which is to celebrate Mr. Tony of the Dead's birthday. We're talking all of the George A. Romero movies. So that one's going to be fun. And then later in the month, if you like your horror content, we're doing a creature feature special where we'll be looking at 4 croc and alligator movies, which is Alligator from the 1980s, Alligator 2, The Mutation, Lake Placid, and of course, the latest big budget horror crocodile movie, which is called Crawl, which I really, really enjoyed. So that's what we've got coming up on the Entertainment Headquarters. But until the next time, keep on enjoying your movies, keep on enjoying all things entertainment, and I'll catch us all at the next one.